Hello and welcome to episode 56 of Kitze. I'm going to call it an episode because it's not a day anymore because I'm skipping the days. So if we count the days, I don't know what the hell that means. So this is episode 56 of Kitze. Today is Thursday, 11th of April at 3:42 p.m. My computer immediately we're starting with Russian. My computer is not going to lock at 4 p.m. So I'm going to take like 10 more minutes to do the thing. And I uninstalled Cold Turkey Blocker in panic that I would need to work after hours to meet the deadline on Tuesday for AppSumo because I think that with normal working hours, I'm not going to make it. Anyway, more about that in a second. In Kitze, I'm talking about my personal self-development journey, trying to make it in life, whatever that means. We're going to discuss productivity, habits, startups, etc. If it's your cup of tea, walk with me, put on your headphones, shoes, and go for a walk. You're going to thank me later. If you're new here, I'm Kitze, the founder of Sizzy, browser for developers, Benji, the Life OS, and Zero to Ship, the course that will help you finally ship your SaaS. Check them out in the description. Send me common questions, and I might answer them in a future episode. All right. Conferences I'm going to skip that because we're starting late, whatever. Let's start with a little Benji review, sleep. Let's start with a little Benji merch. This is the first piece of Benji merch ever, and no, I didn't make it myself. It was actually a gift from Zico for my birthday. I was pretty surprised because all I wanted from Zico for my birthday is to finally finish that monorepo. So if you're not familiar, what the fuck am I talking about? If you remember, 3 billion years ago, I started a Benji native app, and the Benji native app for iOS and Android is supposed to share code with the Benji web app. But the technical implementation of that is a little bit messy. So Zico, my friend, decided to help me with that. And in classic Zico fashion, he was like, yeah, I'll get it done by this weekend. That was in February. Now it's April. The trees are blooming outside. And he sends me a video for my birthday, happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I replied to him one day later. I'm like, all I want from you is just to finish that fucking pull request and we finally get this done. And then he's like, watch the video again. I might or might not have had a glass or two of alcohol when I was watching that video at night because it was my birthday, right? So anyway, he's like, that's a gift for you. And I also have another gift. And I'm like, what the fuck can it possibly be? I honestly expected a Lego because people know that I like Legos. Like, what else can you... I mean, you can guess my hobbies are like board games and Legos, and it would be a pretty easy guess. So I'm waiting for the gift. And today I opened the box and I just shake it. I'm like, this is either a Lego made of 3 pieces, so it would be like the middle finger emoji made in Lego saying fuck your pull request, I'm never gonna finish it, or what the fuck is it, you know? Like, I'm honestly not excited for birthday gifts anymore because people, like, aside from my wife who will always find some amazing gift, like other people are like, here's money, good luck, buy yourself something. I would honestly prefer if people like just go out of their way a little bit, not with money, but just creativity, like what could make this person happy. So when I was opening this gift, I was like, whatever, what is this gonna be? And I see this fucking shirt with a Benji logo and it made my fucking day, dude. It made me so fucking happy. Like, this is not expensive, but it's a thoughtful gift. And if you're gifting people gifts in your life, make sure they're thoughtful gifts, not just, it doesn't matter, even if you're giving them like €1,000, well, €1,000 might change, might change the game. But even if you give people money, it might not make them as happy as if you guess what exactly do they want. So thank you, Zico, for that shout out. Yeah, sleep time and sleep score. Let me just take you back to my birthday because I skipped an episode. My birthday was on April 9th. Thank you to people who said congratulations. Thank you to Abdullah, I think that's your name, who's listening to the podcast. And he sent me an email at like, it was few minutes after midnight, and for some fucking reason I checked my email and I'm like, oh, someone is congratulating my birthday, and they know it from the podcast. So shout out to Abdullah for being the only real listener of this podcast, fuckers. So yeah, me and my wife, like, usually, like, we go to sleep like way before midnight, but for the birthday we're like, okay, let's stay, even though we're old and it's like a hassle now to stay, and we have a baby. So we stayed, and I'm like, you need to go to sleep. Yeah, like, you go to sleep, but I'm gonna stay a little bit and I'm gonna watch TV. And she's like, do you want me to make you a little like platter with like grapes and cheese? And I'm like, no, I don't know, because I told Zico, like, for my birthday, like, cheat meals are allowed and it's not gonna be part of the challenge that we have. So far I am winning the challenge and I'm gonna get those €1,000 back. And my wife is like, and I'm like, no, maybe just a bit of cheese. And she's like, do you want grapes? I'm like, no, I don't know, like, maybe kind of. Like, before you imagine the thing, like, it fucking sucks, but when you see it made, you're like, oh shit, now we're cooking with fire, you know? Like, we had carrots and hummus and cheese and grapes and almonds and nuts. And she's like, do you want wine with this? Because she made me some like little healthy sweets. And I'm like, I'm probably gonna have milk with the sweets. And she goes to bed. Let me just shorten this fucking story. And I'm like, well, it's my fucking birthday. I ought to have like a glass or two of wine. And I sit down in front of the TV. Dude, there's no better experience in life aside from having a kid. Like having a kid is number one. Then you have like few empty spaces. And then the other goated experience of this life is when you make yourself some nice meal and you pair with a good TV show. That's it. Bye. That's heaven. Dude, if heaven exists, it starts with ta-dum, and God just giving you a platter of, I don't know, like unlimited pizza, beer, whatever. It's like, that's it. I don't need like fucking angels and whatever the hell. Just started with ta-dum. Give me a good show like Modern Family. God, like, there are layers to this shit, dude. Like Modern Family is up here. Then we have like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all of the fucking other shit I was watching here. I'm so addicted to the show because it's funny. Now I'm watching it. I'm like, ha ha ha, out loud. And when I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I was like, it's the, or Atlanta. It was like 10 episodes and I'm like, And that was it. Like Modern Family makes me laugh out loud and it's fucking amazing. So I had that. Then I watched Zico's video. Like 2 glasses in, dude, I don't need more than 2 glasses. Like I'm not a drinker. As you know from my habits that I drink alcohol like 5 times per year. So 2 glasses, I had 2 glasses of wine and I was out. So I see Zico's messages like balloons and shit. And of course I missed the part where he says, I am fixing some PRs in Benji and whatever. So yeah, the next day I wake up and I like, even when I don't want to fast, like my stomach, like naturally I couldn't have food until 3 p.m. because I ate at night and this wasn't a heavy meal. It was like carrots, hummus, cheese, whatever. But I couldn't have anything until 3 p.m. And I want to say that this was the best birthday of my life, period. Just because of my daughter. Like I just can't. I think one of these days I'm gonna, like, if there's no Kitzecast episode in like 5 days, let's say, just so you know, I exploded from happiness. Like for real, this kid, as she's growing up, like in the beginning it was a bit different because she was crying too much and whatever, and whenever you want to hold her, she wants her mom, and it's like you have this crying ball and you cannot connect that much. But now when she just looks at me and she smiles and her 2 bottom teeth are coming out, bye, dude, that's it. That's it. Fuck the Netflix, the Tadoom, the cheese platter, Modern Family, whatever. This is the best experience ever. So I had the birthday of my life because this girl was in an amazing mood. She was cackling all day. She was laughing. We took a picture. She looks so much like me. It's crazy. We're not posting on social media, even though I'm dying, dude. I'm dying to just, like, I bombarded my friends during my birthday. Like, I just started sending, like, I have these favorites. Pro tip, by the way, when you're sending pictures to people, when you want to send multiple pictures from iOS, let's say, to multiple people, or from Android, it doesn't fucking matter. What I do is you have like 50 pictures, and instead of going to Telegram and then choosing the pictures, and you go to the next person and choosing the pictures, first I go through my gallery and I just mark them as favorite. I'm like, okay, I like this one, I like this one, I like that one. Then when I go in Telegram, or when I want to send the pictures, I send them from the favorites album. I don't send them from the gallery because they're hard to find. So I would go just like on Viber, and when it says recents, I go back and I choose favorites, and I'm like, okay, these are the pictures that I want to send. So I did that, and I sent it to like family members that I haven't talked to in years, to friends, to whatever, because I'm like, oh, I want to, like, this kid is so cute and weird. God, I love her too much. Anyway, so yeah, best birthday ever. And my niece, like, finally they're back from Macedonia, so we went out and I spent time with her. She's also super cute. Look, just them, two of them together, like, just, we had pictures. Like, there's a birthday cake which I haven't tasted because my family was eating it. I'm still not eating sweets, and I just had the kids in my lap like this. It was like I can't, dude. If I continue talking about this, some people are gonna unsubscribe and I'm gonna explode. So we don't want neither of those things happening. Anyway, it was an amazing birthday. My wife made me like a healthy cake. It was not a cake. It was a layer of dates and walnuts, I think, like the bottom layer, and then the top layer was like Greek yogurt, but a specific variant of Greek yogurt mixed with vanilla protein, and then like almond flakes, blueberries, and a little bit of sprinkles. And like I try it with expectations like, if it's a healthy thing, it's not going to be that good. And I try it, I'm like, I'm not going to ask her if it has sugar or not. I'm just going to assume that it's healthy. I just ask her, is all of this for me? And she's like, yeah, but we're dressed up. I'm dressed up like in white and in a nice thing, and we're going to go out. And I'm like, I haven't eaten a meal in my life where there's like, I'm not going to make the shirt, the pants, all of it. So I just go strip down in boxers, and I'm like, is all of this for me? She's like, yeah. I'm like, can you take care of her for like 15 minutes? So I eat this in front of the TV with Modern Family. And my first meal of the day on my birthday is this like healthy cake thing, just in my boxers in the living room. It was a super sunny day watching Modern Family. Dude, best birthday ever. Guys don't need more than that. We don't need like fucking secret trip to whatever. Just give me TV and good food and bye. See ya. So I ate this entire thing. And as soon as I finished it, I'm like, there was sugar in this, right? And she's like, no, I swear to God, it was just vanilla protein. And it was like so fucking good. Now, when I expect it again at some point in my life. So that was that. Then we went out. Then everyone got a cake and they sang happy birthday and yada yada yada. I was watching them I was watching at them, so Russian to watching at them. I was watching at them. So I was just watching them eat the cake, thinking they're like, oh, sweetie, you're not going to eat something. And I'm like, no, no, it's fine. I don't eat cake. But in my mind, I'm like, I still have space in my stomach. It's cheat day. It's my birthday. I'm going to get pizza at home. So we went at home. I grabbed a pizza with a non-alcoholic beer. Guess what I paired it with? My wife was putting my daughter to sleep. I paired it with Modern Family. Dude, I'm going to finish this show in like 2 months. But I had an amazing birthday. Like, honestly. Like, I watched so much Modern Family. I had so much food. Spent so much time with family. You could say I spent so much time also with Modern Family. Get it? Because the show went also my family. Whatever. So that was my birthday. I didn't work. I didn't do anything. Then the day after that, like I want to tie this to like to the sleeping part, because when you eat so much food and you go to sleep, you cannot have a good night. So I wake up in the morning and I wake up like super groggy and my stomach is in pain and yada yada yada. That was when? That was yesterday, right? So this is my work day. Yesterday I started. I actually woke up early, and because my computer is unblocked and I don't have cold turkey blocker, I started working on the new CZ update. Now here's where my brain is a fucking idiot. Oh, actually, one more birthday thing which kind of forgot, and this was kind of important. Like on the day like before my birthday, I felt horrible about my disorganization and dishappiness with work. And I'm joking about the haha ADHD, AD4K. I'm just messy and I was supposed to work on this, but I worked on something else and I'm missing deadlines. And like all of this gets transferred like even after work. Like when I'm, when I'm with my wife and everything, I'm like, if my brain has some like bug regarding work, if I'm unhappy with my work, with my goals, and usually I'm unhappy with my work and my goals because I'm supposed to do A and I'm doing B, and then I'm like, oh, but why is A not not happening? Because you're working on B, and you don't. So I just got so fucking tired of a cycle that, we'll be having lunch and whatever, and I'll be a little bit, tense and a little bit, and she'll be like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, I have a bit of anxiety, and I'm just tired of that perpetual state of being like, oh, I'm distracted. And then she's like, how was work today? And I'm like, yeah, I was supposed to do the thing, but I was doing other thing. And on my birthday, I think my cup just overflowed a little bit. And I'm like, I don't know whether to call it a breakdown or whatever, but I had like, I just like, this has happened so many times throughout the years where, I'm a machine, I'm a productivity machine, and I'm a robot, works all day, haha, goals, I didn't do my things and whatever, until a moment I just explode and I start crying, and my wife is holding me, and I'm like, I just want to be a normal fucking person with like, if I know that I have goals and deadlines, I want to finish them and work according to them, not do these cycles of, I didn't work, I didn't sleep, I didn't work out, I ate too much, I didn't eat enough, I fasted, I didn't fast, I'm fat, I'm not fat. Like, I'm just so tired of the cycle, and I just explode and start crying, and I'm like, I'm gonna change everything, and from tomorrow things are gonna be different. And tomorrow comes, and it's the same fucking old thing. But I just said, this was a couple of hours before midnight, and I asked her like, would you mind if I just sit down on my laptop for like 1 fucking hour and really commit to finding a therapist, because I want to have a fucking therapist, and I want to finally get diagnosed for ADHD. I think I'm tired of the jokes, haha, because people in this podcast, you have noticed it, like the tangents and all of that shit. And I think having like ADHD, whether I have it or not, like the symptoms of it, like they can bring you a lot of benefits. Like there are people who are like dysfunctional, they have ADHD, and they cannot do anything. They cannot be productive. They cannot clean up their home. They cannot, whatever. They cannot function basically. I think I have the opposite, when I'm like functioning too much, and I'm too much sometimes, I'm too much when it comes to talking. I'm too much when it comes to distractions. I cannot just fucking relax. If there's like, I look in the corner of a room and there's something there that's bugging me, I would rather, even though I'm tired, I would clean the thing up than just enjoy a moment. I'm fidgety. I cannot watch a movie. I cannot watch a show. Like when you look at and Google these symptoms, like a lot of people will be like, yeah, if you have some of these symptoms, it doesn't mean that you have ADHD or OCD or whatever. Like a lot of people live with these symptoms. It doesn't mean that they have it. But I just got tired of not knowing whether I have it or not. So I want to get diagnosed, and I want to, I want to see what's next. Like I know that from the stuff that I can help myself with would be journaling and meditation. I know those two can help with the entire thing. And I was reading, like that day I was reading what things can actually help with ADHD, like natural remedies instead of taking medicine. Because a couple of years ago, when I started therapy for the first time, and again, if you're new here, I've been mentioning this therapy thing back and forth, but I've never been properly serious about it. Like I need something serious to happen. I'm like, oh shit, now I'm going to do it for like a week, 2 weeks. And then just like with my assistants, I'll be like, I don't kind of like this person. Let's just stop it for 2 years now. So I never fucking took it seriously. So a couple of years ago when I was, when I had like my, during COVID, when I had like my first panic attack, I've never had a panic attack before. I think it spiraled from eating way too many sweets and salty food like combined together, not sleeping enough that day. And the next day I just had a thought of like, holy shit, I gotta get my shit together. What if I have ADHD? And my brain just thought, oh, what if you go to therapy and they actually suggest medicine for ADHD? And just the thought of that like was the breaking point for me to go into a panic attack. I was like, no, I could never take medicine, and that's like bad, and it's like, oh no, and people are gonna judge me and whatever. And a few years later, like I'm at a point where I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm just so tired of this state of being like, everything needs to be super optimized and everything needs to be organized in so many, like I need to have a list of 270 movies organized with columns and tables that I'm not even watching movies. I'm never going to watch 270 movies. Once when I had that therapy, she was like, you got to get rid of your list, dude. You don't need a fucking movie watching list. You don't need a TV show list. And I'm like, yeah, but how else am I going to organize my TV shows by percentage of chance of my wife watching it with me on a Tuesday? How else will I know that information? Like, I'm so tired of not being able to just fucking relax and be like, it's the end of the day. Fuck it. You worked enough. You did all your things. Now it's time to just chill without checking your phone, without checking Twitter, this and that. That I want to, get an official ADHD test. And if a therapist confirms like, hey, maybe you want to try ADHD medicine, maybe it's going to help you just to be more focused and more calm, I would try that shit for a while. Like, let me know if you have experience with this, because I've met people who have this and they basically were diagnosed as children and they were actually getting medicine from they were children. I'm afraid about side effects. I've never taken any medicine for anything. Like, I had a therapist when I had anxiety. She was like, how about you skip to the good part and you actually, just not to the good part, but how about you like skip all of this process and you just take, anti-anxiety medicine. I was like, I don't want to do that because I've never done enough steps. Like, you cannot be overworking yourself for 15 hours and then just be like, I'm just going to take medicine, fuck it. Or not having breaks or not, whatever. So the anxiety thing kind of went away. I kind of solved it by myself, kind of. Sometimes it's coming back and forth. I can say that when I'm talking about this topic and I'm droning on and on and on and on, like right now I'm starting to get a little bit anxious about what you guys will think. And not you guys, but people that I know, especially, because some people will be like, haha, I saw on the podcast. And I'm like, is it a joke or are they actually listening to the podcast? And I'm like, no, but I don't want those people to listen to a podcast. The podcast is for certain secret category of people. But I think I'll get over it. As I said, my Android phone is saying end of workday. Well, we got to talk for 10 more minutes, buddy. So shut the fuck up. Yeah, so I feel a little bit concerned about what people will think. But as I said, I want this podcast to be like super fucking honest. And I hope that what I'm saying here will help someone else. Maybe there's someone who has, I don't know, anxiety or depression or ADHD or whatever. And they're like too scared to even talk to a person, to even tell their friends, to even call a therapist on BetterHelp. And don't use BetterHelp. It's a fucking garbage platform. I mean, it's better than, BetterHelp. Get it? I think you can get better help than BetterHelp. Ayo. But for real, like I was disappointed with it, and this time I'm going to look for therapists in person because going to therapy in person is too uncomfortable. And I was talking to a friend about this recently, to actually someone who I know for a really long time. I don't want to, reveal their identity. And I was talking to them and I was just surprised. I just called him out of the blue and I'm like, hey, what you doing? And he's like, I'm doing therapy homework and shit. And I'm like, well, what? Since when? Oh, holy shit. And we had a conversation and I see that he matured in a certain way. And I'm like, and what are you doing, you donut? You're struggling with so many fucking things. And let me just turn to do not disturb here. Struggling with so many fucking things, but I've never taken therapy seriously. Anyway, so just go back to the situation before my birthday. I decided I'm going to do it, but it's so like such an open-ended question. You cannot just find a therapist. So I went on this website that one of my assistants found. It was called Doctor on Demand or whatever. And it seems very USA-ish. I wasn't even sure if it works in Poland. And then I go to the last step and it says like, it's $180 per session. And I'm like, that's a little bit too much right now. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to narrow down my scope to searching an in-person therapist, like close to me, but I would also drive because my friend told me that like, even if you like find a good one and it doesn't matter if you drive like 1 hour per week, like 30 minutes to it and 30 minutes back, it's going to be for your own benefit. So that changed my mind about, I have to find a therapist that lives behind my house. No, it's fine. If it's a 30-minute drive, I'm going to do it. Now, have I found it? No, I haven't, because, the time was getting closer to my birthday and I'm just on my computer finding this. And I just told my wife, like, I have a task on top of my list and I'm going to do this soon. And I'm going to get the ADHD diagnosis just to see whether I have it or not. I just want to do that test because when I was doing the ADHD quiz, guess what happened? I answered 3 questions, I opened another tab and I get distracted. I'm like, this answers the quiz. You don't even need to finish the quiz. Hey, you're donut. So anyway, I need to do that. But the problem, like, let's just go to the problem right now, is the days are structured in such a way. Let's just take yesterday, for example. I've been working until, let's just see here. Let's go to screen. I've been working yesterday until 3:33. I have no fucking idea. What did I do after 3:33? Maybe I worked, but I didn't start a Pomodoro. I don't remember. But basically, I finished around 4. We had lunch. We had a guy come over from an agency that we're gonna rebuild the living room, whatever. He had like that's a nightmare I have to think about. He stayed until 4:30, no 5:30, and after 5:30, I have 2 to 2.5 hours to spend with my daughter. So I just spent some time with her. I put her in the carrier. Together we do things. And she's like, it's so funny that daddy is organizing his smart home thing is right now. That's fucking hilarious. So I had to, pair the activities, spending time with my daughter, putting her in the carrier, and also doing stuff that I have to do. Then we give her a bath at 8 o'clock. That lasts like 15 to 20 minutes. Then I see my steps and my activity rings and I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to lose the bet. So I have to go outside. I walk my dog for like 20 minutes and then I bring him home and then I have to walk for like 30 minutes. And it's like, before you know it, it's like 9 something p.m. And I'm faced with it was like 9:30 p.m. And it's like my last 30 minutes to 1 hour of the day. What to do first, dude? To find a therapist, to like do billions of the tasks that I need to do throughout the home. Like there's some things regarding my daughter. There's some things like chores and things around the home. And then my wife comes down and she's like, hey, we got to plan the trip to Macedonia. So we started doing that and it's like 11:30. And I'm like, where the fuck do I fit all of these tasks that I need to find a therapist? But when? Like today, I have a more important thing. With my brother-in-law, we're going to a Tesla pop-up shop here in Gdansk. So that's important. That's caring for your mental health. Going out, getting some air, hanging out with people that you love, right? Hanging out with family and modern family. And I just want, like we've been saying with him for so long that since we live here and there's so many dealerships, we're going to rent random cars and we're going to test drive a bunch of random cars because we're both fans and we've never done it. So I get an email that Tesla is doing a pop-up shop and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's just go. But does it align with my goals? I have AppSumo, my computer is unblocked, I need to work after hours. I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna go for an hour. It's not gonna be the end of the world. So anyway, long story short, there's not enough time in the day, dude. I'm even thinking of reducing my workday even further, but like I can barely, like when I see it's like noon and I say, oh shit, it's 1 p.m. and then I know the workday has ended and I haven't done much. It's like so fucking frustrating. On the other hand, I've been withdrawing in myself a little bit. Like I'm not sharing enough. I had that thing where I'm going to share my work every day. And now I'm back in this spot of like, is it even worth sharing? Like, what the fuck am I going to say? And I'm very deep within. Let me tell you, like if a couple of weeks ago, I was like spamming Twitter with like every fucking single thing that I do about Benji and about this and that. Now I'm working on the new CZ UI and whether I think that it's not worth it or whether like I don't fucking know what are my internal thoughts because I haven't sat down to properly analyze them. But I know that I'm not sharing enough my work. I'm not making demo video. It's like if I analyze the real feeling that I'm feeling is like, oh, I can't wait for this AppSumo thing to be over with because right now I feel like I have a boss. So I finally got my shit together yesterday, let's say, because yesterday, here's the day, I started working on the new CZ update, the UI. Like, I don't even know why I messed with Tailwind and Next UI and a bunch of other shit in the new CZ update. I just opened more cans of worms that didn't need to be opened at this time because I've already worked on a couple of new CZ features. On top of everything, I was like, let me just throw Tailwind at it. And on top of everything, I was like, let me change every switch in the app, every checkbox, every select, every multi-select to use Next UI for no fucking reason. So now I've opened that and for like on Monday, like Tuesday was skipped, but on Monday I was working on that, like changing things to Next UI for no fucking reason. Like the AppSumo deadline is ticking and they moved it for me because it was my birthday. They were like, okay, we can do it until next week, but they don't care about the update. They care about the CZ and AppSumo integrations. They don't care. Like the update can be like the launch is the end of May. I have time until then, but I cannot convince my stupid brain. I just go on the computer and I start coding on the CZ thing. I could be streaming. I don't stream. At least, I can make it fun for myself. No, I don't do that. I don't fucking have an answer why. Do I think it's not worth it? Do I think my stream, there's something wrong with the stream? I have no fucking idea. So I worked the entire day on that and it just hit me at like 2:30. I'm like, was it? Yeah. I'm totally skipping this part, dude. Like yesterday, I start my day with today, you're gonna be focused. Doesn't matter whether you have ADHD or you don't have ADHD. You don't need fucking medicine to focus. You don't need any fucking things. You can do this on your own. You can build your own apps. Like Benji is actually helping people who are disorganized to actually be organized. And you're going to focus working on the new CZ update UI. And I'm obsessed with rap recently, especially in the last week since this entire J. Cole and Kendrick drama. Then I've been listening to some rap and also I've been listening to the new Joyner Lucas album. And there was a beat, like the song starts and he doesn't rap for the first, I don't know, couple of, what is it called? For the first part of the song, he doesn't rap on it. And I'm coding and I just start going like ba 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 ba. And I'm like, I have some lyrics. I have some things on my chest that I want to say. And for the first time, it's not a funny, haha, roasting web development rap song. It's just like something that I really feel about my life right now, about work, about, pressure, money, this and that. And I just write a couple of lines and I just scroll the song back and I just say the lines and I'm like, okay, but this doesn't rhyme with that. And I'm like, okay, just what the fuck are you doing? This is during working hours. You like everything is on fire as always. You're now writing a rap song that you're probably not even going to polish and finish and upload just like it's been in the past. So what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, but I have an inspiration for one more verse and one more verse. And I go in Apple Notes and I just go back and forth, one more verse. And long story short, I have a rap song ready with like 9-10 verses, no chorus. And I'm like, okay, let me just record it on voice notes on my Apple Watch just so I can have it, and then I'll polish it another time. And then the problem is, he starts rapping and I have to scroll the song back, but then the loop, it doesn't loop perfectly. And I'm like, how about I find, oh God, the tangents that I'm going on is like fucking crazy, dude. I'm glad that I'm telling you this on podcast. So I'm like, okay, let me just search for AI vocal remover. So I find 2 tools, I drag the song and magically the vocals disappear. And I'm like, okay, so why record it on like voice notes? Let me like properly open GarageBand. So I open GarageBand, I put on a track, and as I'm rapping the fucking thing, I'm like, yeah, but this didn't flow perfectly here. Let me just go back and go. And long story short, just look at here. Like I worked on some song lyrics a little bit. Then I take a break here for an hour and like 2 hours and 30 minutes. Is like basically just me playing around with the rap song. Now, is it ready? No. Did I finish it? No. Is it perfect? No. Will I finish it? I have no fucking idea. I would love to get to a chill point of my life that I can actually just be creative whenever creativity hits and to not think, oh, but does this song align with my other things in life? I just want to get to a point where I just felt like doing this fucking thing. And I did it today. Fuck it. I'm tired of, this has happened in the past when I had new ideas for products and whatever. I have to be slapped back by reality. Oh, there goes gravity. No, seriously, I get just, what did I say? Slapped back by reality that, no, you got to work on your goals and your projects. And like Zico literally quit. Not quit, but I had to kind of fire him because he didn't work that day. But the reason he didn't work that day properly was he saw me streaming, making another product. But I got inspired. I knew that we had meetings and I know that we had goals and all of that shit. But AI got released. My brain just goes, I have ideas. I can make a thing out of this. I start working on the thing. I start streaming on the thing. That's my nature. Like, that's who I want to be. I don't want to take a fucking ADHD pill that's going to be like, no. Like, I don't even know how those pills work, but how I imagine it's going to like internal slap of the brain going, no, back to fucking Sizzy. You said you're going to do da-da-da-da-da. And I just enjoyed working on the AI thing. And Zico saw it like, oh, he's just fucking around. And he can just stream whenever he wants and do whatever the fuck he wants to stream. Well, I'm not going to work. So I want to get to a point where my employees, coworkers, whoever like the fuck works with me, doesn't care that I'm doing A, B, and C or rap songs or like parodies or streaming or fucking around. But all of my products are flowing in the right direction. I'm just so fucking tired of saying this, because I wanted this for years and I'm so far from actually having this. I just hope that I'll have it one day. Man, I'm glad that I'm recording the podcast without a timer right now because I think it's flowing better and I don't have to look at the time and just wrap it up. I mean, I have to wrap it up because I gotta have lunch soon and go to the Tesla thing with my brother-in-law. But like, honestly, I didn't feel like recording a podcast yesterday, even though it wasn't my birthday. And today I didn't feel like it. I just walked on a treadmill for like 45 minutes. I was like, why the fuck did you buy this treadmill if you're not going to walk on it? Because I didn't want to have like a dedicated time walking my dog for like hours and hours to, like, I'm walking like a fucking lunatic at the end of my day just so I can complete my steps. And I'm like, when you cannot complete your steps by walking, you're going to use this treadmill. So thankfully it didn't shock me. It didn't abruptly stop. It didn't do any jerk motions. It recorded my steps correctly. And when it works, it's fucking beautiful. So I don't know how that tied with the previous thing that I was saying. Dude. Also, I started drinking caffeine because instant coffee is just easier to make for me than changing the filter on the coffee machine and then doing the brrr sound and it's too loud. And I think maybe because for a few days that I have caffeine, I feel a little bit jittery. I can feel it again, especially after everything that I told you. I feel like my entire body is jittery right now and I don't fucking like it, dude. Maybe because I haven't worked out. I worked out on Monday, but workouts definitely help with getting this out of the system, but I gotta stop with the caffeine. I haven't had caffeine in such a long time. And I think just a small dose these days is just, affecting me in this way. So I was saying about, I have no fucking idea what I was saying about. Why did I mention the caffeine and this and that? It doesn't fucking matter. I'm talking about many things anyway. So yesterday I did that. Then I went back on track, worked on the Sizzy UI. And at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, let's not wait with this AppSumo thing. Let's not wait until actual Tuesday. Let's do it on time. So yesterday I started it. Today I worked for 5 hours, 33 minutes. And So for most of the day, I was focused. I started 8:17, and for most of the day, aside from a little bit of Twitter breaks, and the only distraction was here. That was like 5 minute thing that I figured out that Spotify can have local music, and you can have a folder on your disk on your computer with music that Spotify can include in your library. So I had some, like, I got obsessed with J. Cole's discography, and I was like, I never heard his original mixtape. So I found it on SoundCloud, and I could just, like, it was playing on SoundCloud. It was fine. And I'm like, yeah, but what if in the future I want to listen to it again and I want it on Spotify? And I started going in the rabbit hole of how to do it. I found a SoundCloud downloader. I downloaded the entire album, and I'm like, now that I did this, what other songs are on SoundCloud and on YouTube that are not on Spotify? So I just spent like 10 minutes there. Aside from that, I've been working on the Sizzy and AppSumo integration. And it is a giant fucking pain in the ass, let me tell you. It is like so much work. And it's basically like Sizzy is using Paddle for payments. And I never wanted to implement Lemon Squeezy for payments because it's like, oh, we got to support another system with webhooks, with all sorts of shit. And like, it's worth for the developer experience, but it's not worth like my mental sanity for deal. Like, I want Sizzy to be able to be purchased with Paddle, period, nothing else. And now I realize that AppSumo has made it, basically, it's like implementing another payment provider because people can buy it on AppSumo. AppSumo pings Sizzy like, ding, somebody bought the app. They can also refund it. They can upgrade plans, downgrade plans. I got to manage on how many computers they activated. I just hope this is going to bring a boatload of money because it's like, I don't want to do things when someone tells me when to do them and I have a deadline and I got to do this and I got to do that. Like, I don't like any of this shit. And I'm purely doing it for the money. When I'm doing something purely for the money, like, on the other hand, if I was the person who can do something only for the money and just focus on that, I would have shit ton of money right now because I have ideas. I have skills to execute the ideas, but I'm not happy when I'm doing that. Like, I'm lucky that Sizzy has brought money while being aligned with Sizzy is something that I wanted to work on. As soon as I started implementing things for the customers and someone has this and I got drained, and that's why I just left it a little bit throughout the years. Like, Praneet was working on it, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like, this doesn't align with my vibes. But it really, like, I'm happiest when the two things, like, overlap. When Benji, like, when I see someone buying the Benji lifetime plan, it like makes me so happy because I'm like, oh, this is what I want to work on. And I had this thought, like, when I had this on the day before the birthday, when I had this state of like crying and everything, I was just so ready. I'm like, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to take down Glink as a service. So I'm going to take down every fucking, like, good that I did the, what do you call it? The comeback later, I refunded people this because it's like, even though it's a dead project, like, it's a passive project, let's call it, it's still, living in my head somewhere that I need to update it and it doesn't work on whatever. And I'm like, I want to get rid of everything and just focus on one thing. But then we have, like, let's just say we erase the unimportant shit. We still have Benji, we have Sizzy, and we have the course. Like, the course doesn't do anything right now. I mean, it brings money without me doing much, so the course can stay. Glink is kind of serving the purpose for changelogs and whatever. I don't need, but in the moment, I just wanted to fuck everything, delete everything, and just work on one thing. But then I realized, like, the next day when the clarity hit me, I'm like, you cannot fucking do it. You cannot, how can you fucking, like, I can pause Benji signups, but so what? People sign up, they complain about bugs and this. I don't have to address all of those things, but thankfully I didn't do it. But I just had a thought in all of that, like, maybe I have ADHD and this and that like, I realized I'm not making a mainstream product that will satisfy everyone because most people are fine with reminders and whatever. I'm making a product for people who really want to organize their life and they're struggling with ADHD or whatever, or they're struggling with just being dysfunctional and disorganized. Yeah, I think mostly that's what I'm doing the product for. And there's like a billion of people that have this issue. And if I would choose a life mission right now, if someone is like, hey, you have two paths to choose. You can work on Sizzy or you can work on Benji. Just choose one thing. I would honestly keep Sizzy in the state as it is, even though I have a billion ideas of what would I implement in Sizzy. And I would never sign something that says I will never work on Sizzy again. But for now, I would go all in on Benji because I have few more things. Like, I want to make a blocker within Benji that's serving the same purpose as cold turkey blocker. I've already explored this idea and I have like a prototype on my computer, but I want to put it in the desktop app that when you start a Pomodoro and when you say you're going to do something, like, Benji kind of blocks your websites and apps and whatever and tries to keep you on track because you cannot keep on track by yourself. I'm actually surprised that I'm working without cold turkey blocker for the last few days and I'm not wasting a lot of, like, I have YouTube available in my browser, but I'm not going to it. And I think the entire Pomodoro accountability, just trying to get this number and trying to be focused and whatever, is just helping me not open YouTube. But I think it's like few more days and a harder task. Like when it gets hard with the AppSumo integration, I just want to bail out and I'm like, oh, let me just, let's just watch something on YouTube. But it's not like I spend my entire fucking day. But anyway, I want Benji to have a blocker and I want to make a browser. Like I have ideas for, like, I don't want to say this because I found people they're copying my products just based on, me saying that I'm going to do something. So I'm not sure if this would be called the Benji browser, or I'm not sure if this would be called something else that integrates with Benji. But I think because I call Benji the Life OS, it would make sense to have the blocker within Benji and to have the browser, maybe not within the app, but a separate app called Benji Browser that just fully, you log in with your Benji account and then you have extra browsing thing. You have so many fucking ideas regarding that. And if I could choose what to focus on and what will help myself and what will have like a big effect in the world, I would choose to have Benji because it's for a nobler cause. I feel like it's not like web developers are suffering that much to be like, oh no, what will I do without fucking Sizzy? Like it helps them. But people who are in this state of like, I cannot focus on things and I cannot achieve my goals and I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I don't get there. I feel more sorry for those people because I'm one of them and I realize that I need software and blockers and apps in order to be functional. So of course I want to go more in that path and fulfill that mission and make that my life mission. So Benji boy, I can't wait for this AppSumo fucking integration thing to be done, to launch the new Sizzy update, launch the AppSumo integration, and then just go back and focus on Benji. So I think that wraps up a nice topic. Like I had more things that I wanted to talk about, but they're not that. Yeah, I think that's mostly the things I wanted to talk about. Everything else is not fucking important. Like warm weather in Poland that makes you forget everything. We get one sunny day, dude, in Poland, and everyone is like, what were we talking about in the winter? It is actually great here, because when it's like moderately sunny, it's amazing. I don't want to be in a place, I don't know, like Barcelona, where I'm gonna get scorched every fucking day until October and I cannot go out and my daughter cannot go out and breathe properly and whatever. I don't want, like, it was a bit hot here and we already started like, oh my god, it's like 18 degrees, it's too much. But then, we were happy on that day, on the birthday day. And then like for 2 more days, like today and yesterday, the weather is kind of garbage. And I go out and, I'm wearing a shirt and it's like kind of chilly. And I'm like, oh, I hate this weather. Anyway, dude, that's it. I wanted to talk about the Android phone, about this, but I'm going to make that a separate episode. I made a review, which is supposed to get uploaded as soon as I move the material and as soon as my editor, like, fuck it, dude. There's like too many fucking things. Anyway, thank you for listening to this rant. Special shout out to the people who actually DM me randomly saying, either when we are having a conversation or people have random, like out of the blue say, hey, I listen to Kitze, just and whatever. These people, like, I'm just making a mental list of all of these people. Like, whenever I look at the numbers and I'm like, yeah, is it worth it to continue this? Like 300, 400, 500 views, whatever, depending on how clickbaity is the title. I'm also tired of titles and thumbnails. Like, I cannot keep it up every day, coming up with something interesting because it's a daily thing. But when I think about the numbers, I'm like, the numbers don't matter. You actually get these people, and then I just have a mental note like he's listening and they're listening and blah blah blah, and I appreciate, like, it's like some high caliber people that are listening to this and are blowing my mind. So I appreciate people, whether you have like, I don't know, 300 followers. So like, it's when you look at the views, it's just a number. When you associate it with a face, it doesn't matter if they're like a super popular person or just someone. It just makes you want to do it. I don't know. So I think I was in the middle of a thought previously when I wanted to say yesterday and the day before and today I didn't feel like recording this. I think it's starting to fall similarly with like, I shouldn't stream because I don't have anything to do, or I shouldn't stream because whatever reasons. And I also, yesterday I was like, I don't want to do the podcast because whatever reasons. And today I felt like that. But as soon as I start babbling, like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm doing this podcast. So hopefully we'll keep it up, and hopefully we're going to make it to episode 100. We're going to see what happens. Next, I got to go have my lunch. It's 4:20. Ayo. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Go check the links in the description. Do your homework. Recommend the podcast to someone if you want, or do whatever the fuck you want, because I'm not your mother. And I'll see you in the next one. You donuts.